To save the time, I have done the working here. So let me explain you the working, how to use completing square shape or format. So this is the question. The first step of completing the square is we have to see the coefficient of x square should be 1. And we can observe that coefficient of x square is already 1. So no need to take common here. The second step is that this is the middle term. We always divide middle term by 2. So when we divide middle term 3 by 2, it is 3 over 2. So no need to simplify further. The third step is we add the square of this. And we also subtract the square of this. First we add, then we subtract. And remember, you should add first and then subtract. And square of the number, square of this number. And then this 4 we write it as it is. And then we know the identity. And now using identity, this one or this one, depending upon the question. So right now here we can see that this middle term is negative. This is negative here. So we will use this identity. Okay, so according to this identity, these three terms will become this one, x minus 3 over 2. So this is square of x, which is over here, and this is square of 3 over 2, which is over here, and the square is over here, whole square. And now this 3 over 2 square is 9 over 4, and this plus 4. Okay, and after using calculator or you should do more working. So the answer is 7 over 4. Now we have completed this question into completing square. Now just compare the answer with this format. So A is 3 over 2 and B is 7 over 4. In this second question here, the first step is we have to see whether the coefficient of x square is 1 or not. Right now it is not 1, so we will take this 2 common here. 2 is common here. So now when you take something common, you have to divide each term by that common number. So dividing this first by 2, it will be 1x square. Dividing this by 2, it is 7 over 2x. Dividing this by 2, it is 5 over 2. Now we will use the same method as we did in the last question. So what we do, we divide this middle term by 2. So it will become 7 over 4. And now we will add square of 7 over 4 first, and then we will minus 7 over 4 square. And using the identity, this will become, it is a square of x over here. It is square of 7 over 4, it will come over here, and then putting the whole square. This middle term will disappear. When you convert these three terms into whole square, the middle term will disappear according to the identity. And this is 49 over 16 and 5 over 2. Using calculator, it will become 9 over 16. Now what we will do here, we will multiply this 2 inside this bracket. So this 2 will multiply with this bracket, it is over here. When we multiply this with 9 over 16, it will become 9 over 8. Now we have finished our completing the square. The next step is to compare this answer with this format. Here you can see that A matches with this 2, A is 2, and this B matches with 7 over 4. So B is 7 over 4 and C is minus 9 over 8. In the third question, we can observe that this quadratic expression is not in standard form. First, we will bring it into standard form. We write this x square term first here, then this x term and this constant. Now the next step is that the coefficient of x square should be plus 1, but right now it is minus 1. So we will take minus 1 common. So now we will divide each term by the number which is common here. So when we divide minus 1 over minus 1, it will become plus 1x square. And dividing plus 5 by minus 1, it will become minus 5. and dividing plus 9 by minus 9, it will become minus 9. And now we will use the same procedure as we did in our first question. So what we do, we will divide this middle term by 2. So it is 5 over 2, and then we will add square of 5 over 2 first and then subtract as well. And this minus 9 will come over here as it is. Now using the identity, these three terms will be converted into completing square. So in completing square, which is whole square right now here, so the first term will be x. We have to remove the square and it is x, and then we have to remove the square over here, 5 over 2. As the middle term here is negative, so we will use negative sign over here. Now this is 25 over 4 and minus 9, and using calculator it is 61 over 4. Now what we do here, we will multiply this common inside. So this will minus 1 will come over here. It is negative this bracket, and negative into negative positive. It is better to write positive number first. So we write 61 over 4 first, and this negative term on the second. Now we have completed our square here. Now comparing this with this format, A is 61 over 4 and the B is minus 5 over 2. And this is question number 4. And in this question number 4, again, this is not in standard format. So what we do here, we will write this x squared term first, then this this term, and then this constant term. Now we can observe here that the coefficient of x squared is not plus 1. So we will take negative 2 common, and then we divide each term by this common number. So minus 2 divided by minus 2, it is plus 1, and minus 12 divided by minus 2 is plus 6, and then this plus 3 divided by minus 2 is minus 3 over 2. Next, what we do here, we will divide this middle term by 2. So we will get 3. So we will add square of this 3 and then subtract square of this 3. And this 3 over 2 is over here. Then using the identity, these three terms will convert it into whole square. So in whole square, we will use this x without square and this 3 without square. And because the middle term is positive, so we will have a positive sign over here. And this negative 3 is 9, and this 3 over 2, and using the calculator, it is minus 21 over 2. Now, what we do, we multiply this minus 2 inside. So it is minus 2 into bracket this, and then minus 2 into this one will give us plus 25. Now it is better to write positive term first. So 21 minus 2 times x plus 3. Now we will compare this answer with this format. And we can say that P is 21 and the minus 2 is basically minus Q, which is, so Q is positive 2 and R is 3. This is the last question of this video. So here we can say that you can check this format here. And what we do here, because coefficient of x squared is not positive, it's positive 1, so we will take 25 common. And then we divide each term with this common number. So 25 over 25, 1, 40 over 25 this, and 4 over 25 this. Okay, the second thing, what we do here, we will divide this middle term by 2 here. So after simplification, we will get 20 over 25. Now we will add square of this number first, and then we subtract this as well, and then this will come over here. Now using the identity, we will combine these three terms into whole square. Here we will use this x here and this over here. Because the middle term is positive, so we will use positive sign inside. And the square of this number is 400 over 625, and using calculator this will become 4 over 5. Okay, this is the important step here. The C over here. First we multiply 25 inside, we will get this number. Now if you see this format here, there is no common element here. So what we do here, because of this format, we will shift this 25 inside the bracket. So let me explain you the concept first, then I will show you when you shift this 25 inside the bracket what will happen. So if something is inside a bracket and there's a whole square, when you take this common from here outside, so 2 is common inside, but when you take this 2 common here, so when you take this 2 common outside of this big bracket on which there is a square, so we will take the square of this common as well. So common will be 4, so it will be 4. Okay, in the similar way, when we bring this 4 inside, so what we do here, we will not multiply 4 inside, we will multiply square root of this number. So square root of 4 is 2. So if we want to shift it again inside, so it will become 2, the square root of 4 is 2, 2x square, and we multiply with this 2, it is 4, and which is the same thing over here. And we will use the same concept, because this 25 is outside of this square bracket. If we want to bring this inside, so we will take the square root of this, and square root of this is 5. So we will multiply 5 inside. So it will become 5x, and when we multiply this with 5, it is 25 over 4. Now we will compare this format with this. So A is 5, and B is this, and C is this.